Please tell us about the pedal.
Well, Pedal is a group of local residents, local activists that was set up in 2005, and we were set up, well, we set ourselves up in response to the threat of a planning application that came into Portobello for a large supermarket in the centre of town, and that was going to decimate the high street, was going to decimate the local shops. And so our response was, well, that's what we don't want in Portobello. What we want to do is keep our shops, have a vibrant, sustainable local economy. So what do we want in Portobello? And that's how Pedal was set up, was in response to that. Pedal has two aims. We want to help Portobello play its part in tackling climate change, and we want to help Portobello to get off oil and coal and all fossil fuels in order to be a more sustainable and more resilient place to be. So that's really what we're about. We have 160 local members, and we're in regular contact with about 800 people in Portobello. So yeah, we were set up in 2005, and our first project was to create a non-disposable jute shopping bag. It's called the Porty Shopper, and the slogan is think global, shop local. And the idea is that people will use this instead of plastic bags, instead of carrier bags, and that's now sold by local traders in Portobello High Street, and that's been a really successful project. After that, in 2010, we received a large grant from the Scottish Government to help us run 10 projects. 6 of those projects focused on food and creating a sustainable food economy, and they included things like an organic market, which we currently run, and that's continued to run even though the funding has now run out, so that's sustained. It's a business in its own right. And we ran training courses for people on how to grow your own food, how to cook in a low carbon way, and we had 4 projects looking at energy. So there was advice to people who live in tenements on how to stay warm but reduce their energy use and save money on their household energy bills. And we also tried to promote solar power by getting negotiating a discounted price on the bulk installation of solar hot water panels in Portobello. That met with some success. But another of the projects we were taking forward we started to take forward in 2010 was this idea of looking at a large income generating wind turbine in Portobello, for 3 reasons really. First reason is to reduce carbon emissions from electricity generation here. The second reason was to generate some income that could be used to fund local community projects, particularly community projects that were green, in line with sustainable development. And the third reason was really to raise awareness locally and hopefully further nationally around what renewable resources we have on our doorstep, and the fact that we can use them to meet our own needs locally here. We wanted to look at whether or not we could use the wind resource. In Portobello, and as you can see, it's quite a windy day today down here, so we thought we'd explore whether or not we could have a wind turbine down here. So we started looking into the feasibility of a wind turbine in 2010, and in June this year, 2011, we had the feasibility report completed, and it looks like there is a good site for a large wind turbine here. If you can see the piece of land sticking out in the background here, this is the site that we've chosen for the wind turbine. The project will be a partnership between Pedal and a similar organisation that exists in Leith called Greener Leith. So both organisations are working on this. The site is actually on the boundary of Portobello and Leith Community Council areas. So that's why both organisations are involved. We also hope to involve the community of Craig and Tinney, who will look onto the wind turbine. We've yet to really get speaking to the community council and other folk in Craig and Tinney on the project. At the moment, we've had the first stage feasibility study completed. We've just received word that we have 90% of the funding for the next stage, which is technical studies and the submission of a full planning application for the project. So we have 90% funding there. We're still trying to get the other 10% together. I'm spending a lot of time with others submitting funding applications to try and get that 10% in place. We're also negotiating with Scottish Water. Scottish Water own that site, and we're negotiating with them to get a 25-year lease over the site if the project's successful. So we need to get that in place soon. We also hope that the turbine will create a significant community benefit fund, perhaps between £100,000 and £230,000 a year, and we want that money to be used locally for community projects. So we're going to be engaging with local people over the next year or so through a range of methods. We'll have public meetings, we'll be doing surveys, and we'll be coming to speak to all the community councils and all the neighbourhood partnerships in the area to find out their views, tell them a bit more about the project, and really hope that people can support us in this project. We've been doing bird studies. The Firth of Forth is a special protection area. It's the highest standard of international designation you can get in Europe for breeding waders. So we need to be really careful and look at how the wind turbine will impact on the bird population here. So we've started the bird studies. We've done 6 months of that, and we have to do another 6 months. We've done 3 months of wind. 3 months of wind studies as well. So we're on track to get the wind measured in time.
Thank you very much. I mean, like, wish you like the best luck with your project.
Okay.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was like.